this guy asked me to make a knife for him. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. Thinking about it for months, and kind of investigated him a little to see what his likes were. His big thing was, I want some antler in my knife. I want some antler in my knife. It won't look like this, but I want some antler in my knife. So, you know, we thought about it. I had all kinds of antler I was playing with. You see, I got more back there. He said, I want you to use my antler. I said, your antler? I said, why your antler? Of course, I didn't have any antler, but he wanted to use his antler. I thought, heck, I'll just go to Petco and buy a piece of elk horn or deer antler they use for dog chews and cut it in half and do that. He said, no, use my antler. Well, I was talking to some of his friends and they got to tell me that he was a primitive hunter. He don't use bow and arrows or guns. He sharpens sticks. And he bought him a lot of property, and he decided that he went on to like goatskins.com and bought him a loincloth out of goat skin. I think he wears it the skin side out, and he puts that on and up over his shoulder and runs around barefoot on his property with sharpened sticks and chases deer. He bought some property with some deer. So as the story goes, that this primitive hunter running around naked except for his goat skins chased down this big old deer and got him. He was proud of him. Skinned him with his old river stone. Made it sharp. And then he ate that deer, but he saved the horns. And fate brought us together, and he said, hey, I'll use these horns in my goat skin. Or get the horns out of his goat skin here and use this in my knife. So I decided to take on this project. And we was talking one day. I said, I don't know what to name it. And he said, well, let me show you how I killed it. And he had his goat skin. And he put it on. He started running around in his front yard. And I'm like, dude, it's strange. He grabbed a stick out of a tree and rubbed it on the ground and sharpened it. And he was running around going, kill the deer, kill the deer. Well, back in North Carolina, we had this creature called the Rugaru. Ran around Nantahala up in the mountains, big old hairy thing, 6, 7, 8 feet tall. And they squealed just like a woman at night. Even the male ones would squeal like a woman at night. And I said to this fella in that goat skin running around his yard, I said, this is mighty weird. I don't know if I want to make this knife. And I was thinking about that Rugaru and what he looked like. All of a sudden he let out a squeal, make me a knife! But he sounded like a 3-year-old girl when he screamed it. So I decided that I'm gonna call this knife the Rugaru. Because dang if he didn't act like a Rugaru. So I just finished this knife at the exception. I gotta sharpen it tomorrow and I'll do some product shots and stuff for it. I've had people already offer me $700 for this knife, and I thought, man, this is crazy. It's amazing what people want to spend anyway. So today I worked on finishing up the sheath for it, and man, I tell you what, this is the Rugaru. The sheath. It's got my Shegman Kniver logo with Thor's hammer in the back. 2021 SK Shegman Kniver. Got a little tooling on it. Cleaned it up. It ain't perfect. I'm not a perfect knife maker, but I enjoy making them. But I will tell you, there ain't no way, I'll bet you $1,000 this knife ain't gonna shake out of here. It's tight. Matter of fact, when I go to put it back in, set that thing. So anyway, the sheath for the Rugaru, and I've posted some pictures of the Rugaru here the past couple of days, and it's got that stick that his buddy gave me, a piece of maple, or not maple, walnut, black walnut. And there's them deer handles, deer antler handles from that deer he chased down and stabbed with the stick and ate it. And I decided, well, I'm gonna make this a little bit more special because there was fire in his eyes, red fire, when he screamed, "Make me a knife," like a 3-year-old girl. So I put some, I don't know if you can see it, I don't know here, but there's some red and black scales running down right down the center on both sides. It stands out blood red like that poor deer. And of course I've got the Shegman Kniver logo in there. It's a nice feeling knife. Really does feel good. But honestly, it ain't perfect. There ain't no knife that's perfect that I've ever made, but I sure enjoy making them. And making this knife for my little Rugaru buddy, he's got fire in his belly, is probably one of the most pleasing things I've done, making knives, because he's a good fella. And tomorrow, after I sharpen this thing, it'll take me about an hour to get it sharpened like I want, because I don't rush it. I'll show you this thing cutting leather and paper and all that other stuff. And just so you know, Mr. Rugaru, if you see this video, you got one of these about that long, epoxied into both sides of the handle. Got my DNA. So 1,000 years from now, when they break this down, they'll get some human DNA, some deer antler DNA, and they'll think we were a hybrid, the Rugaru. Anyway, have a blessed day, everybody, and more importantly, go find somebody else to bless.